and let's just have a podcast. And then they can watch as we learn
Grab your
and grow.
headset right there.
Okay,
And we
excellent
are
connection.
live.
All right.
No Lux Given on the go. We are slinging it as it comes. And this is being recorded, man. I appreciate y'all being here.
All right, I think we have officially figured it out. We probably have the wrong link from where it was, but now we got a link from where it is. So I think that's been one of the hardest parts is working on all the details of trying to ensure that, you get everything right and trying to learn this because
shit, it's kind of just like this whole building. They're going to see it all come together as we go and it continue to grow.
Yeah. So we are officially live on YouTube. So how's it feel?
They have a little delay. They hear us all, though. And you guys got shit on mic. I'm sorry I don't have an extra mic. But I'm going to get one for you, Sauce, next time. Let's introduce our guests. We got special guests today. Goodness. And we got to get Sauce on the camera, man. We got to get you on the camera. You got to go this way. You guys could probably just scoot over. That's smarter, guys. There you go. That's a little smarter.
Am I there?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I think we're officially there.
All right.
That was fun. That was crazy. All right, we're letting people log on because we gave them the wrong link earlier, and now we are trying to figure out the right link. But I think it's exciting just to be able to finally get this happening. It's been so much work, and everyone's been asking the question, what's going on with the live stream? What's going on with the YouTube? What's going on with the studio? What are you working on? What's happening? I don't know. We're figuring it out, and this is the beginning. So I think one of the coolest parts has been, let's ensure that people get to experience the raw part, right? The behind the scenes, because that's the most important piece.
Raw, real, and authentic. Sauce, you got talking to Mike, baby.
Yes, how it all begins right there. It's the beginning, absolutely.
And it's nice that they're a part of the beginning in there, It's significant to be able to see something like this, stripped apart and then to see what it's going to become.
Yeah, well, it's already changed quite a bit because if you were here about a week and a half ago, before brother started using the sledgehammer, it was crazy.
I did use a sledgehammer on a few things. I think I need to delete the original one because everybody is like, hey, it's saying waiting for you to join us, and you're not joining us. So we're actually trying to delete that one so everybody can see
technical
what's going
difficulties.
On. Well, it's the first one.
Tell them what happened. Tell them what happened. You created an event and didn't know how to join it.
Yeah, so I had no idea what I was doing this morning. I literally just created the scheduled post and the video and the link, and I sent it to Dana and I said, "Let's go." And apparently, we didn't know how to start it.
I had no clue. Chef was looking for help.
I was standing over in the corner, just minding my own business, trying to help out as much as I could. So I want to put that out.
and did you know how to start it?
No, not at all.
I had no idea. I was like, "Okay, we got it all going. Okay, how do we push play?" So that didn't really work. So we had to create a whole new link. So everybody is kind of like watching the other one. That still says, waiting on Brother Luck. All right, that sounds much better. So yes, we are in the middle of trying to get everybody logged on, but you know what? We're taking our time today, and we are figuring this out because I'm a cook. I am not an IT professional, and we are officially trying to get all that stuff. So I'm sharing this to Facebook. That way people can check it out there. Let me share this to Instagram. That way people can check it out there. And we will get everybody going because, that was pretty funny this morning. I was just like, go, let's get it done. So welcome to No Lux Given live in the studio You are getting the raw footage. You're getting the raw content. You're getting the very, 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 very beginning of what's to come. And I think that's an important piece, because as we've been building this up, everyone's been like, oh my goodness, it has to be, you have to share this part. Because normally I think most restaurateurs, most businesses hide this part. You don't want people to see this part. So when we started having this discussion, especially with Modern Eater last week, they were like, can we go upstairs and look? And I'm kind of like, it's under construction. There's people working on stuff. We're going to get in their way. But we thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's start it. So let's go just do a round robin. Who's on the mic tonight? What are we doing? And who's who? So
introduce yourself. We have guests. I want to be proper, man. We have guests in the building. Chris and Sauce. I call him Sauce. You
Sauce.
know. And
put some sauce on it.
Go ahead, give yourselves proper introductions, man. We want to make sure we introduce you.
Yeah. I'm Sauce. I'm the Som over at 4. My brother and I have been together, working together.
You make it sound like a marriage.
It is a marriage.
It's a relationship.
A lot of times it feels like a marriage, that's for sure. But we've been together quite a while, so we're really excited about this space. This is kind of like a dream for us to be able to do one-on-one food and wine pairing. So
Amen.
We're super excited. Yeah, I love watching him with that sledgehammer. That was some.
Dana got some footage.
I got footage of it.
I was in
And
here
it's
one
in
day
slow-mo.
I was in here with a sledgehammer doing a lot of work, and Dana came up and caught it on camera. So it'll be fun one day to watch that and see how it all just kind of comes together. Who else we got?
Who else we got on the table?
So this Chris
Making the introduction.
Yeah. Coming from Fort Carson, 10th group. Shout out to La Rochelle Warrior Restaurant. You know,
Hoorah.
I'm just here learning from a mentor. I'm gonna call him
Yeah, he
Brother
is.
Luck. So I'm just happy to be here. Just happy to be here.
Nah, we appreciate you here. I think one of the things that's great is we work really close with Fort Carson, with U.S. Army, and we have a program called Bridge the Gap. And Bridge the Gap is about taking the culinary specialists off of the dining facilities and giving them an introduction into the restaurant industry as a possible civilian. So it's really cool because he's getting to shadow us for the next 45 days and see everything from, you know, working on the line to bartending to talking about discussions to screwing up podcasts to live streaming. Obviously, we're going to be in the middle of building this out. So he's going to get to watch this whole process. And then, you know, at the end of the term, he has a great reference, which is everything in this industry, you know, who who can co-sign you. So it's a really cool program. We've done this with a few other soldiers. And I think it's very special, especially being here in the Colorado Springs community where, you know, that is a big portion of our population. And then who we got on the mic? I mean,
Hey, I'm behind the scenes, making an introduction. My name is Dana Keith, father, filmmaker, creator, brother's right-hand man, brother from another mother. And, you know, I'm back here working the boards, the cameras, and making a hot mess of this stuff because neither camera I brought we have on the live stream tonight.
you know, it was hilarious. We got like, I think there's like
But
6
the
cameras set up and one worked.
The audio, the way we have the audio going right now, you know, that's a plus, you know, shout out.
Well, and the good part is everyone's going to get the chance to watch us grow. And that's really the whole point of tonight. And what we're going to be doing is this is something that's going to turn into a consistent show that we're going to be doing on YouTube. We're also going to be clipping on other social platforms. But we want you to be a part of the behind the scenes, the art, the creativity, everything that we do. This is what it's about. So I always like that perspective.
Look, guys, I always tell brother that content has no expiration date. So if y'all rock with content, no matter, you don't know when the content was created, you just know you're entertained at the moment. So that's our plan, is to, you know, flood the streets with all the hard drives that we got, and we're gonna keep moving. Sauce, man, I think you're such an important part to the damn puzzle, you know. So I want to make sure that we highlight, and also, Chris, we're gonna give you a moment because Chef has had a couple of the other students through the program, through the building. I actually got some film with them, so I'm gonna put you on the spot, tell you that you got to be on film. You know, we got to get your story. But Sauce, tell us a little bit of background. We know you're the sommelier, You run the show, level 4 black belt.
Not quite, not quite.
But you got to tell us a little bit more, man, like, because you're an important part to the story. And I think you should be in the spotlight right now.
Well, I think the coolest thing about what Chef and I do is that food and wine pairing, because, that's my passion. And I've been studying wine for a long time. I built a lot of wine lists and a lot of restaurants as I was up and coming. And I thought I knew a ton about wine. I thought I knew everything. I was one of those guys. And then when Brother and I were first working together, our food and beverage director approached me and asked me if I wanted to take a sommelier exam. I said, hell yeah, I'll take your sommelier exam. And then I started studying and realized I knew nothing about wine. And wine's cool because it's not just wine. It's history, it's geography, it's geology, it's weather, it's climate, it's craziness, and it's ever evolving. So to be able to have a career where I study and enjoy wine, it's pretty cool.
And give us some vision what you're gonna do up here with the studio.
Well, I think before we get into what we're gonna do up here, because I think that's definitely coming. But I want to start off. I think we need to pop a bottle because this is a celebration.
Oh, introduce yourself, Chef. You got to get a proper introduction, man. You look, man. He tried to undercut himself. Said he's only worth $5 and not give himself an introduction.
Again, he's working the bottle over there right now too. Yeah.
This is the man. And Chris said mentor earlier. Brother was in here schooling my little brother earlier.
About finances.
Brother be putting on game everywhere he goes. He really has a giving heart and wants to spread the knowledge and the wealth. So this bottle that we about to pop is in celebration. No luck's given, and brother putting in this hard work. And we're going to see this shit come to fruition. I can't wait.
Well, and I think I'm going to let the sommelier pop the bottle. And they said you got to make sure you're close to the mic, Steve. So make sure you're talking into the mic. I heard, and before we get into all that, right? Okay, my intro, I'm Brother Luck. I'm Chef Brother Luck. I'm just Brother Luck. Entrepreneur, business person, chef, educator. I don't know. I do everything. I'm a journeyman. My brother-in-law and I were talking the other night, and he said you're supposed to keep the cage on the champagne to help with the grip. Is that true?
No, you keep the cage on the top because if you try to pull the cage off, that cork could go on you.
Exactly.
So the only reason you keep the cage on while you're popping the cork is to make sure that you don't pull the cage off and then it pops.
Okay, see that's what I knew, but he said and one of the things that I thought was really funny was he was watching TikTok and he thought that was actually what it was going to be.
Hey, we got a guest. Come on, come on.
I see Muji.
Yeah,
I see Muji. Okay, so Muji is an amazing artist, and that's the whole point of what we're going to be doing up here too, is we really want to make sure, like, we just have people popping in. But Muji is an amazing artist who does phenomenal work here locally in Colorado Springs. His art is all over town, but it can also be found on the walls of 4 by Brother Luck. So if you've ever been there and been wondering who painted all those amazing pieces, this is the man. So he hit me up earlier and said, hey, I got something I want to bring for you and Tina. And what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Your wife. Oh, that's nice. Really like this painting.
Yeah, that is a piece that Tina loves.
This way. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
So this piece, right? You can't.
There's a delay on it, so that's the challenge.
That's actually hilarious. Because right now it's all
piece. Your wife really liked it. I knew if it didn't sell, I was like,
oh man, she's watching. I'm sure she's watching. And man, thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do. In addition to just making our restaurant look beautiful, the references you've given us to people that have come through and painted Lucky. I mean, from Pace to Picasso, you have such an amazing community when it comes to the art scene that's happening here, and it's booming. So, thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm sure Tina's gonna appreciate that because that's pretty cool.
well, thank you very much. Yeah, I run a nonprofit called the Nob Hill Urban Arts District.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got all the connections to the artists, thankfully, because they do a lot of work for us. So yeah. And I want to thank you for allowing me to put my art up in your dope ass restaurants with your celebrity stats.
No, man, no.
Talk that talk, yeah.
I talk it up all the time. Yeah.
No.
But because it really increased my career, helped me out, got me established.
Oh,
got me
Tina just texted me. She says she's crying. So,
Aw,
yes, good
that's
job,
sweet,
man.
T.
That is huge. And you know what? We're gonna make sure on our social media to be putting up the nonprofit for Nob Hill. If you've never driven through Nob Hill or even walked through Nob Hill, totally worth it. There are some phenomenal murals throughout that entire area. I want to say it's from Union to
Union to Circle. It's
Union
about
to
a
Circle
mile
on Platte.
Stretch, 45 murals.
45 murals here in Colorado Springs.
And
So,
they're local artists, a lot of them.
oh man,
Every one of them is a Colorado-based artist.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them, we just scrounge up money to get them paid, or at least to pay for the materials. A lot of them just pay it out of pocket.
Yeah.
And they've been great.
I mean,
And
they're
they did
growing
that
a
for the
beautiful
public, because those are pieces they can't sell. Murals operate at a loss. It's for everybody, and you don't get to do anything with it
Yeah.
after you paint it.
Yeah, no, I love that area. I think that's one of the things that most people don't realize here in this city is that we have stuff like that you just have to scratch the surface. And as we're getting into this warm weather season, talk about something cool to go do on a Saturday and just kind of wander through and see some of these beautiful artistic pieces and these expressions of art. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and this summer we're working with the Fine Arts Center to do tours. We got some proposals in the pipeline. Hopefully do tours. We have a secret invite-only high-end fine art gallery underneath our performance space that is invite-only, so it's pretty dope.
Oh, see, I think that's going to be a key piece, because as we get into more detail later throughout this episode of like what we're doing up here, it's going to tie into exactly that. So I'm sure we're going to be having some conversations.
Oh yeah. We got lots of fundraisers we need to do.
Yes,
so
yes, we got you. We got you.
Yeah, we got one. We want to do one a month this summer. So
No, we one of the things that I've always been a firm believer in is we work with a lot of amazing nonprofits, but we like to work with organizations where we can see the direct impact immediately. That's a big thing for me. So, when we decide who we're going to be donating to as a restaurant, as individuals, that's always the conversation is what's the impact and something that's special and connected to us that's important. So I'm excited to hear more and be able to share it, obviously. But I think a big piece is going to be just watching it come to life. I think that's a cool part of it.
yeah.
Look, guys, we gotta pop this bottle. We need the microphone so we can make sure we get the pop. But welcome in. That's incredible. T is gonna love that.
Yeah.
You
No,
didn't-
that's
you didn't shake this on me, did you?
I didn't shake it on you. I would never do that to you, Sauce. You're a professional.
Well, it's a shout out to my friends at Wilson Daniels for this beautiful bottle of JL Prosecco. You see that in there?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right
it's
now,
it's
right
got a
now,
little bit
that's
of a delay,
perfect.
so they can see it.
That's perfect right
That's
there.
your main camera right there.
Oh, gotcha.
This is the raw footage.
And then this is your other camera.
I got this for brother because I know he likes these sparkling rosés.
Yeah,
So we got
I'm a
little
rosé
sparkling
all day
rosé
kind of person.
Prosecco.
Hey, it tastes good.
I consume a lot of rosé. I can't help it.
That was a good question about the basket, because that basket, the only reason for that basket is to hold that cork onto the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Because if for any reason that basket falls off or something, that bottle can pop.
Yeah, because it's got all that carbonation from all that
Exactly.
sugar
So
and
you
that
gotta-
yeast.
You got to hold your thumb here, and then you got to twist this. It's 6 turns on any champagne or any sparkling
No
bottle.
shit.
6 turns.
6
To
turns. I
open the
just learned
basket. So
something.
you
Any
got-
bottle.
That's it. So then you got to take your hand and you got to put it over the top. You're supposed to do this with a napkin, just in case it got shaken up.
It didn't get shaken. I wouldn't do that to you.
And you turn the bottle. You don't turn the cork.
Oh man, the suspense is real.
And you got to hold it at a 45-degree angle like this because it's a physics lesson.
Okay.
Because the surface area of the wine right now is as long as it can be. But if you do it in the top of the bottle, hold it upright, that surface area of the wine is only like the size of a dime.
Okay.
So those bubbles got to escape.
Oh, the suspense is killing me. Oh, I heard the sound. Oh, look at this man. This man is a professional.
Beautiful.
He didn't flinch. He didn't drop anything.
And the bubbles escape in the bottle, not out of the bottle.
Yeah. Tell him into the mic. Make sure you tell him in the mic.
Yeah, the bubbles escape inside the bottle at that 45-degree angle as opposed to escaping out of the bottle.
See, I didn't know about the 45 degree. I didn't know about the
Just
45 degree
learned
pop.
game.
So I pop a lot of bottles. I try to be cautious of it, but I didn't know about the 45. So now when I open my next bottle, I'm gonna
I
tilt
didn't know
it.
6 turns.
See, Tina knows 6 turns. She said that every time we do these, when we pop a bottle, she's like, it's 6 turns, just so you guys know, 6 turns.
Sauce taught her that.
Yeah, Sauce did. You know, Sauce, and I think that's a big piece. Sauce has been a part of my education since I think we started working together in 2005, end of 2005, 2006, beginning of 2006. We both worked at Shine Mountain Resort. We got to go through an amazing experience at that property. And then, you know, we worked together at the Craftwood out in Manitou. And then, you know, when I jumped off the cliff in 2013, you were the guy with me right in the beginning.
That's right.
So we've been able to learn together, but also like Tina's grown in her wine tasting knowledge, and us with food. Like, you know, I think the trips to wine country need to come back.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was fun.
And I'm trying to go on one. Yeah, because I like wine too. You know, I'm learning a little bit.
I think we're gonna have to have like a raffle in the future for like the fans.
Somebody go with us.
Somebody
I like
go experience a wine tour with us.
You go on a wine tour with us. It's craziness.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's a lot of
yes.
fun.
No, it's such good stuff. We're doing cool things. So I think we have to get into the studio. What is the studio? What's happening
Let's
up
talk
here?
about it. Let's cheers to it. Let's cheers to it. Cheers to
We
it.
got everybody got one?
Yeah.
We gotta get okay, Mood, you got one. Good view. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers to you
Love.
all. This is the beginning.
Amen.
Can't go wrong.
It's delicious.
Rosé all day. So there was a couple things that happened. We got downstairs 2 years ago. We built out Lucky Dumpling, and the story is really unique because in 2013, that's where it all began. I threw my very first underground pop-up dinner while I was the chef of another restaurant. It was a punk rock bar. It had a stage. It was crazy. And we threw this unique dinner. We threw 1 or 2 dinners. And that led to me saying, I'm going to sublet this space and start cooking out of this space. And everyone thought I was crazy. They're like, you're leaving a fine dining restaurant to go cook in the bar, the punk rock bar with the mosh pits and the mohawks and the leathers and the broken chairs and the holes in the wall. And I was like, yeah. So you fast forward, we moved to the west side. We left this space. We moved to the west side. We had a restaurant on the west side. Lost that in a real estate deal. We went to North Tejon. We opened up 4 in 2017. And come the end of 2018, the bar owner said, hey, I want to downsize. And we did this whole shuffle in this space between the club that was up here, the bar that was downstairs, and I ended up taking the back portion. And that's where Lucky Dumpling was created. The most unique part of that whole storyline is when COVID hit last year, it was detrimental. I mean, it was devastating to everybody. I mean, everyone, especially in the restaurant industry, but everyone felt it. We had to close down restaurants. We went to go service. We just had to figure it out. We kept fighting. And during that time, the bar actually decided they were done. So I had to make a decision, a risky decision of expanding in the middle of COVID pandemic.
Talk about that as an entrepreneur, because I think that's a side of people that, you know, you're a celebrity chef to some people, but you're a businessman and an entrepreneur. And then to be able to go through that during COVID, explain like, you know, your stresses in your position and kind of how you got through that. I want to hear.
I mean, my fear was real. It still is. It's real every day. I'm scared, but I'm faithful, and that faith is what keeps me moving forward and having the strength and the courage. Because the people that I'm around every day, my inner circle, my family, my friends, my coworkers, you know, they believe in me, and that's something that is really powerful. Jumping off that cliff to expand was tough. I mean, presenting that to my wife, telling Tina like, hey, I think we should take this space, even though
during that
one
time.
Restaurant's closed and we're not even sure if we're going to be able to make it. I think it's a gamble, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we decided to move forward on it. and we did all the work. You know, Nick Lockman downstairs, our GM down there, myself, a few volunteers. We did all of this work. Dana stained the patio. Like, we were all involved in this process, from building the bar to sanding the floors to, you know, installing the lighting. I mean, there was so much that happened. And then we had to get the patio licensed to be able to serve alcohol out there, because we were outdoor dining only. So, you know, creating that part was
During the
extremely
winter.
yeah. Well, this is the end of the summer, and you know, we're building out all of the patio, and I mean, Nick and I were out there actually putting in fence posts and, you know, buying lumber, and we built that patio, which was crazy. I'm not a carpenter, I'm a chef.
Yeah.
But that's what we had to do. And
Yeah.
and it's what allowed us to survive and get through the summertime. But then winter hits, and you know, you're struggling, you're trying to make it. You're open, you're closed, you know, the spaces are shut down. They're not shut down. I got the notice that the club upstairs was going out. So, you know, the landlord asked me, "Do you want it?" And my first response was, "No, absolutely not. I don't want it. I don't have the capacity. I don't even know what I would do up there." And I declined it. And it was probably like 3 weeks went by before I got an opportunity to go work in Montana for a couple days. And it was in Montana where we were cooking in this private residence for, you know, 20 people. And we were doing these amazing dinners, like 5-course dinners, that it kind of made me think, like, I need this. I need a space where I can do my pop-up dinners. I can serve my chef tables. I can do really cool receptions. I can teach my cooking classes. I can stream online. I need something like this. And I still hadn't put it together that this was going to be the space until I came back, and one of our chefs was on vacation. I was working with one of the team members, and I asked her, I said, "Hey, if you had that upstairs space, what would you do with it?" And she goes, "I'd make a studio, like a cooking studio." And I was like, that's a good idea. So I called the landlord up. I got the key. I came upstairs and I walked it. And I was like, no, this could work. This is a really cool private space. But it could work. I think this could be a really unique private banquet space. And when I went home and I told Tina, "Hey, I'm thinking about going upstairs and doing a private space for parties. I think it would be really good." And she goes, "Okay, how much work is involved and how much is it going to cost?" And I was like, "Oh, it's lipstick on a pig." And yeah, here we are 2 weeks later. I think anyone that's followed our Instagram has watched the progress. But I mean, we essentially got down to the bones, and it's got good bones. I mean, the building's beautiful.
Great location.
It's above our restaurant, which is nice because we have full production there. But
the windows, like, overseeing
it's an old building, and it's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. So the question was like, you know, okay, let's get down to the bones, and now let's start to put it together. What's it going to look like? So I think that's where Steve and I started conversations. The ideas started to just kind of move at an accelerated pace. I'm always one of those people that if something moves naturally really fast, it's meant to be, and you have to listen to that voice, right? Mm-hmm. Something's telling you internal, follow me.
Yeah.
Follow. Like, and it's been, I haven't been able to stop. I mean, I'm 2 weeks in here, and I mean, Steve, you walked in today and you were like, wow, like the progress.
Love the floor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the floor was busted.
Crazy.
Yeah, but it's not anymore. The floor is good now. It's
beautiful.
Solid. It's reinforced. It's professionally done. Like, we're really happy with the what was accomplished there. But, you know, now we're into the next step. And I think as we kind of get into this space, like, we start to question, like, okay, who's next, right? Which person do we need to come in? So the next person to come in is probably going to be a framer, just to kind of, you know, put in some extra accent walls and, you know, frame some things out so we could put some drywall up and ensure that, you know, the lines are clean with power and everything where it needs to be. build a bar, right? I don't want to build another bar. That was a lot of work doing downstairs. If you're a carpenter, shots out to you. I respect you so much. That is a very, very tough. The amount of math involved in all those angles.
There's math involved?
Yeah, right. I'm like 1 bottle, 2 bottles. That's about it for me. So it was a crazy experience going through that. Now we're planning it, and my brain won't stop because I'm seeing the endless possibilities.
Yeah, tell them your vision. I want to hear a little bit about the vision because they see it in the back. It's stripped down, bare bones. We can see just a brick wall. Everything is out. What do you see in here?
Well, I think the most important part when you look at this space is you have to be able to see past the cosmetic. Because, drywall can go up, lights can go on, paint goes on, all that stuff is cosmetic. The bones are solid, and that's what's exciting. The nice part is we're going to be putting 20 seats back here with these beautiful custom tables. We're working with Eden Oaks. I love Eden Oaks, local company. Freddie's amazing. His whole team's amazing. We're really excited to be working with them. But we're going to be having 20 seats over there. There's going to be bar, there's going to be wine, displays on that side, a nice presentation, television to do some of our private groups. But the most exciting part is where we're sitting right now is actually going to be an exposed open walkway into a very small kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So now you get to be a part of the experience. If you want to come in and help me dice something up, right? That you can come in. I
Mise
love.
en place.
Yeah, you can come in and help me with the mise en place. I think that is such a special experience, and it really, I've identified that it reminds me of the job that I had in Chicago, which was I built a cooking studio for a major corporation, Whirlpool, and I got to be a part of this entertainment educational facility that everything was live and on display in these amazing residential style kitchens. So it's going to be a hybrid of professional residential style kitchen. You're going to have the dining room, and we're actually going to be able to bring all of those cool events that we do here. I mean, I'm already writing
personal.
I'm writing a Game of Thrones dinner right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
you think of the chef's table that we were doing there at 4, we bring it into the kitchen, and it's loud and it's crazy and it's kind of cool because you're back there. But here, it's just going to be the kitchen and the dining room together. So
VIP
it's-
experience,
exactly.
personal.
VIP, you got a personal chef, personal som, and we're going to just walk you through a dining experience.
VIP, baby.
Well, and the best part about that is not only is it VIP or it's very one-on-one, it's very personalized experience. You're going to get to cook with us. You're going to get to ask questions. You're going to be involved in the process, which I think is a really unique part. But also our chef's tables from 4, we're going to be transferring over here. So we can be doing those dinners here. We're gonna do a lot of our pop-up themed dinners, which is cool. In-person cooking classes. This is a perfect space to do in-person cooking classes. So we've talked about a lot of the kids classes. We've talked about a lot of the one-on-one classes. But then the virtual. I mean,
You're filming for the online classes.
Yes.
You could buy the classes.
Well, and the cool part too with the virtual is, we're gonna set up all these cameras and these mics to truly be stationary. Like, we want them to be positioned around the space so we can literally just go live with the click of a button, and you can
Kitchen
be a part of the
studio.
experience virtually.
No way.
Yes.
The click of a button.
Click of a button. That's it.
Hey,
That's
I hope, because, man, after today, we need just a click of a button.
It looks impressive in here, right?
We've been working so hard just to try to figure this stuff out. I think everyone has over 2020, right? This is the Zooms and the Facebook Lives, and everyone's been figuring this part out. So have we.
Right.
The question is now, how do we take it to the next level? And I think creating a cooking studio with the capabilities of being able to live stream
Right into your own kitchen.
the brainstorming sessions, right? We're talking about wine, and we're talking about how this dinner is going to come together. I think that's a great thing to be able to share to our online crowd. I think, watching what happens as far as like the setup before the cooking class, there's a lot of madness. I mean, Dana, you've always said that when we film at my house, you're like, This is the actual show.
This is the real show.
Tina messing with
Like
me.
you and T are a show.
and I think that's one of the coolest parts is like we can bring people into this. So we want to do this show, I think, on a weekly basis, where not only you're going to see this continue to grow, right? The production's going to become more professional.
Right.
The lighting's going to come together. The space is obviously going to continue to progress. You're going to get to be a part of this experience, which I think is such a cool piece of ownership for the viewer, to where like you get to see it happen. But then as we do this, we're going to be bringing in celebrity chefs. We're going to be bringing in guest chefs,
Special
bartenders, tons of artists. I mean, I see live shows happening in here. I see, musical artists coming in and performing. Like this is what we
This
need.
is a studio.
We need the cool vibe of a studio. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, we're learning all this together. We're learning it with you. And I'm stoked. So this is the beginning.
No Luck's Given has been born.
Yes, jumping off the cliff and building an airplane
On the way
down.
God, I loved it. That's one of my favorite quotes from you.
So, it's a lot of cool stuff. So I love the fact that, even just today, like, originally it was just going to be Dana and I, but then, to end up with our Fort Carson team getting here to represent and talk about what they're going through. Steve making the time to come down. Muji stopping by. Dropping off a piece for Tina and I. I'm just so honored for that. I know she feels extremely appreciative of that as well. This thing is going to evolve because we're barely scratching the surface.
It's just beginning. And look, Chris, I want you to hop in here because you saw this, come to life. And, from the outside view looking in, you wouldn't expect all this stuff that Chef goes through. Tell us about a little bit about what you saw today.
Yeah. So, me coming from Florida, coming from the hood, I just joined the Army just to get away, So when I first met Brother Luck, he told me the same story. It seemed like me and his past story like connected, So just coming in, I already knew he had that drive. Like, you just know what he wants. He knows what he wants to do. Like boss mentality. That's what I like to call it. So I'm just here learning, and I can picture this place. This place is gonna be off the chain. I'm letting everybody know that this place is gonna be off.
It's gonna grow,
chain.
and I think that is the best part about episode 1 is that you see it raw, bare bones.
Yes. Yes.
Starting now.
And the cool part too is like, we've been filming podcast episodes for the last year. Like we have a lot of stuff that we're still coming. It's, we were getting there, but we had to figure out like what we were doing. We knew that YouTube was going to be an area that we were going to focus on, and we started researching it. We're like, hey, we need followers. And you know what? 1,000+
people
showed
supported.
up in 2 days.
Look, round of applause for the 1,000 people that subscribed. Y'all are the reason why we keep going.
Yeah.
That means everything, the support.
Absolutely. Cheer.
I wish I had a... I don't know.
You need that button.
I don't know which one it is.
I already sent the text out. I know everybody watching over there in Fort Carson because I sent a whole bunch of texts out about subscribing and stuff. So
yes,
y'all watch, hey, come visit, come help out.
Yeah, come check out Lucky Dumpling.
Lucky Dumpling.
Well, here's the thing: you're watching
top of Lucky Dumpling.
You're watching the plane take off right now.
Right.
We ain't even started flying. I think that's one of the coolest parts. Is this is the ground level when you're like, man, I remember when. Yeah. This is going to be that moment. This is like, who was on the original episode, and as it grows and turns into this major thing, it's going to be beautiful. And I can picture it, I can see it, but you have to push past the challenges because we thought it was as simple as we just need followers. And once we get the followers, we can make money on YouTube. And then you realize, oh no, we got to have streaming content and viewership on a regular basis. Right. So we had to figure out, okay, let's get past that part. And then someone like Tina's like, hey, you got a YouTube and you guys aren't doing anything with it. Yeah. So, sometimes you need that extra push, but getting past those challenges and just persevering, I think is one of the best parts.
I think it says something about like this podcast, the principles being pride, courage to show people the raw and real and authentic like process. Like we're not hiding it here. Like obviously like this is an empty building and you're going to see this grow. And even today, like, you know, the live stream only has this camera, but the playback is going to have these cameras. So, like, you're going to see the process. Like, episode 1, I'm not even in the video. I don't even have my camera yet. So, like, you're going to see down the road as it grows. And but we have to thank the community and the supporters that actually, you know, check us out. Because, you know, 1,000 people subscribed in a day.
Well, and here's the crazy part. You know, our social media team and I have been talking in our weekly meetings, and we started really looking at impressions, and we're reaching an average of 300,000 people a month just in El Paso County through our social media. That there's 700,000 people in Colorado Springs. So to think that we're reaching those kinds of numbers organically, now let's put some attention to it. Let's add some other elements, right? And we haven't even gotten into national numbers. So I think we're on to something. We're very blessed to have a platform and be able to utilize Instagrams that are verified and have great followings. But
y'all heard that? That was a boom. Yeah, I should have dropped a boom. Instagrams that are verified. Hey, I don't even have to swipe up yet. You heard? Like, my joint don't even do that yet.
But I really think that, you know, that just shows that we have a good base, and it's because we've always been real. We've always told the true story. Like, we're not trying to create our greatest hits for you to measure yourself by. Like, I think that's something that's extremely important when it comes to social media. And I'm vulnerable all day long, sometimes to my detriment, but it's because I always want to keep it real. And I think this is going to be a great platform that we can utilize to bring you along for this experience. So, you know, the outlet that we have is artists, right? And I always say chefs are hybrid. Food and beverage professionals, for that matter, are hybrid, right? We're part artists, we're part craftsmen. Like, there's a matter of tools and commitment to your craft and sharpening your skill. But at the same time, the artistic is I can evoke emotion, right? You can taste something that I've created, and it's going to channel something internally for you. You're going to feel something. That's art. And I think that works with anything on a canvas, that works with anything in your headphones, that works with something on the television, but it also translates into the dish. So this is a place where we're going to be able to express a lot of that artistic to the small crowd versus trying to do it to the masses and it not being interpreted in the right way. You know, not everybody gets it. I mean,
I think the flip is that, you know, as personal as this space is, like, it is going to reach the masses. Like, it's going to be, you know,
it's only 20 seats though.
I think
the virtual, though,
intimate is the correct word.
Very intimate. Yes.
Intimate, yeah.
Very intimate. And that's what we want. We want to make the experience very, very intimate for you as a diner. And, you know, when we're trying to get that crazy focused on something that's so outside the box, you know, you need a space for that. And we've been forcing these into the restaurants, and I love what Four is doing. I love what Lucky Dumpling's doing. They're great spaces, but they're very specific, and they need to execute that particular style of food they're doing and that consistency in the dining room. Us throwing a Harry Potter on top of it is like, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, you know, it's pulling our team away from what we want them to do every day, which is consistency, quality, high level, and that takes repetition. So this space is going to be a much smaller scale to where we can do it here. So I'm really stoked to see this thing come together.
Look, man, I can't wait. When's the first dinner? We got expectation. Like, what's the timeline,
you know,
chef? Let's talk.
I mean, there's a lot of things when it comes to timeline. So, you know, next we've got to have the electrician's got to come in. We got to get the framing done. Floors still need to be installed. Right now, we're sitting on the subfloor. So the floor's got to be installed. The paint's got to be done. Drywall needs to be done. You know, lighting's got to go up. There's still. Then we need to actually have this thing outfitted with equipment. So, you know, we're gonna have to figure out what kind of equipment do we want to showcase here, because that's going to be a big feature of what we're doing. You know, what's the stoves? What's the do we reach out to our contacts with Whirlpool and KitchenAid and JennAir, or do we stay with a local company and showcase a local company? We still got to go get chairs. I need to go buy chairs for this place. We got to build the tables. We got to build the barn doors. We got to get the garden going outside because Mother's Day.
What kind of wine are we going to bring in?
What kind of wine? Which local distillers are we showcasing? There's so much that's happening in addition to running 2 other restaurants.
Yeah.
We're trying to manage our time effectively. But then also the most important is like when's the liquor license going to be for this space, so we can host events to the public. We can't open the doors until that piece is done. So that's easily a 45-day process right now, maybe 60. It just depends on the application. But
summertime.
I think
I want all the VIP. I want to get in all the VIP and all that. I'm here helping out, so Brother Luck gonna hook me up. VIP, champagne,
Chris
caviar.
said, don't forget about me.
Champagne and caviar. Yes.
Put me on the guest list.
No, and that, you know what? And it's funny that he brings that up because that's one of the reasons why right now we're getting ready to launch our Patreon. We have a Patreon working where you get to join our club, right? And each tier is going to give you a little bit extra. So one of the things we actually put in there is priority seating and reservation if you're local. So I think if you're following on the Patreon, you're actually going to get the link before everybody else. And that's going to get you on. There's only 20 seats. So if I open up 2 weekends on a Friday, Saturday and say, we're doing this crazy dinner, then that's only 40 people per weekend. So it's going to be very, very limited, which is, I think something cool. But cooking classes are going to be a part of that. We've got some crazy merchandise coming together. Last night I was working on T-shirts and hoodies and coffee mugs and posters and all that good stuff. The one-on-one phone calls. Like it's really cool to kind of think about what can we offer to our fans.
And
who
this is
support
something
us.
that you guys could give us some feedback. Like, what would you like as a fan? You could probably comment in the YouTube. And to what would you like as a package, or what would be incentivizing to you?
Yeah. We're looking for all that stuff, and if it doesn't work on the YouTube because we're still figuring out how this thing even works, you can always hit us up on Instagram because we know how that works. So you can shoot us a direct message at Chef Brother Luck. Make sure to always follow me at Chef Brother Luck because that's a key piece. I stay pretty active on there, and as we grow this platform, man, we're gonna have guest calls coming in. I'm really excited about the possibility of this. I just want one of those like Pee-wee's Playhouse. Somebody shows up on the door and starts knocking. You know what I mean? And like somebody says the word of the day, and everyone just I think that's going to be a key piece. So
all right, I think it's time to give us a little background about No Lux Given. It's the No Lux Given podcast, Chef. Give us a little background about No Lux Given. And what that means in this building.
Yeah, so that starts as really your story, right? Your story is meant for somebody else. As tough as it is to talk about, as tough it is to relive it, your story is meant to inspire somebody else. So you have to share your story because it is important. It does matter. And it's the journey that I've been on. I've embraced that more and more and more the more I've heard that message. And No Lux Given is really about perseverance, courage, determination, and pride, getting somebody through it, right? Dropping your pride. The exact opposite of what you would think it would mean. But I think the stories are so important because when people hear your story, they relate and they get hope. And hope is a powerful tool that can change the world. We see so much hate, right? We're seeing, hate in the Asian community. We're seeing hate in the Black community. We're seeing hate with look at the violence that we're seeing here in Colorado with Boulder. We need to change, right? That is first and foremost. And it starts with, being vulnerable, sharing your story, giving somebody else hope, and not letting them stay on the trajectory of anger.
Yeah.
Right? Resentment. All those things that they're dealing with because they're not happy with themselves or what they've been given. We got to change that. And I think that's where it starts. That's why we work so close with so many youth, at-risk youth, because those are the ones coming into the next generation angry.
Right. So break down, like we said, pride, courage, determination, perseverance. Like what? Obviously, those are incredible traits, but like, why those?
Those represent my story. When I truly sat down and said, okay, what have I on my journey? What have I experienced? What words would I use to define my story and who I am? Those were the words that came up, and I think it was something that really just kind of symbolized everything. So, no luck's given for me is it means a lot. It's not just a catchphrase.
Right.
It has a more in-depth meaning. I hope it can continue to inspire. We've talked about, nonprofit, but we work with so many nonprofits. We get to see the direct impact when we donate to them. So it's like getting to work with programs like Griffith Center, getting to work with U.S. Army, getting to work with people like Muji over with Nob Hill. I'm so excited to be able to put that on a priority list for what we're doing, because it's changing our community, and that's what it's about. Like, what's the impact you're having on your community?
I love it. And you could actually, like, Chris could attest to this. Like, you see the determination in just the last, 3, 4, 5 hours that this man has running it, managing to. So,
I'm learning. I'm really learning a lot. Like I said, I'm learning a lot from, because I got determination, but it's just, coming from like a place I did, it's hard to open up to everybody. So when you find that mentor who you see, he has his own business.
It takes courage. Yeah.
It's taking courage. And that's something I say that I want for my future, So I'm learning. Yeah. Like I said, I'm learning.
Now you've been with me all day, right?
Yeah.
Like, we started.
Right. How long you been in the program? Let me get that out.
I started on Monday.
Okay, so you're fresh in the program.
Yeah.
And then go ahead and hit him, bro.
Shout out to Sergeant First Class Freebird. He put me in his program. At first, I was like, man, what in the world?
What in the world? You put me in this program.
But as I've been in it, like, I've been to certain meetings with him, and I've met people, networking. You know, and it's been an amazing experience. Like, it's a blessing, really.
My favorite part is watching you take notes.
Oh yeah,
like he's been scrambling notes all day. Just
gotta take notes. Notes. Yeah.
But the whole day's been full of everything from showing up here to a water leak to downloads on what happened in the last 24 hours since he's been gone, and then we go right into the day-to-day of team members and production and possible meetings. I mean, we were discussing another Willy Wonka dinner with another private group in the summertime.
That's gonna be dope. Yeah, Willy Wonka.
I mean, the whole day has been insane. Plus, getting to spend some time on the line learning production, and it's a number of things. But that's my day. I don't think many people get to see that.
The background,
probably besides like you two,
the background,
and Tina, and maybe Nick and Matt. But like, I bounce all day long back and forth, and I juggle a lot of pieces, but it's because I
should follow you one day, just all day, follow your ass with a camera.
You'll be like me.
It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. I get the smooth film. I got you. I see you.
I don't realize how much I actually do until like I start to reflect on it, or I see like him with his eyes like super wide. He's like, for real?
Yeah.
Like, you transition that fast?
Well, the variety, I think, is such a wide range of things that you're responsible for. That kind of jumps into like how you're able to manage these 2 restaurants and also building this, dream, production studio for me. So how you able to manage those businesses like that? There's so much stuff that even today, man. I always forget like how many things you balance. Like I can't even imagine being a day in your shoes.
I don't.
How do you do it? Like tell us.
I think Steve can attest to this, but I think a lot of it comes from the generations that come before us really gave us a pathway on how to be extremely flexible, how to evolve, how to adapt, and survive tough situations
and multitask
and that's something that I have never forgotten. I paid extreme attention to, but like coming up in the hotel industry, the resort industry, where you've got 50 different things happening all at once, and you've got a walkie-talkie on and you're on a golf cart and you're driving around the property trying to manage all of these things at once. It just, I think years of that made me a really strong person when it comes to translating that into entrepreneurship and being a business owner.
Go ahead, Sauce.
It was cool having those little golf carts to drive around the
That-
property, wasn't it?
That was totally cool.
Like
Like,
need a bus from the club up to the main,
Uh-huh.
jump in your cart and go up the road. And,
yeah,
it
and
was
that was every property. I mean, it was like I remember driving golf carts around Florida at resorts I worked at in Texas. Like, you know, that's a big piece of being able to handle everything. But I've always had a lot of initiative because I never wanted to be. They don't keep the people around that aren't willing to just do anything, and I was always one of those people that wanted to have a job.
raise your
So
hand.
yeah, so I didn't even raise my hand. I just started doing the job, and I jumped in and I asked a lot of questions. And I'm just a curious person in general. So you know, I especially in hotels. I mean, I would sit in a human resources office and ask questions for an hour, and then I'd go to the marketing director's office and ask questions, and I'd go to the accountant's office and ask questions, and then I'd go to the security desk and ask questions. I wanted to know how everything worked because I was just curious. Like I wanted to learn, and it's for me. It's more than just food. You know, you're a person. Like you need to be extremely aware of what's going on around you.
But there's skills, and I think earlier we talked about it being that if you know the skill, you're able to do the checks and balances. And I think that's something as an entrepreneur, a lot of people don't realize of like, bro, you literally remodeled downstairs like the whole bar.
Yeah, thank you, Pinterest. But you know that I think that's a cool part too. Is like you know when you think about that, it does take repetition, and you have to put the reps in. I don't care what your craft is, you have to put the reps in to be good at your craft. And you know whether it's tasting wine and being able to pull flavors, and you know when you give this guy a bottle of wine and he can tell you exactly just by the taste and the smell and the colors and the characteristics. He can tell you exactly what's on the label without looking at it. That is reps, right? You know,
He smirked.
yeah, because it's a real thing. You know, we used to talk about blind tastings all the time because he used to do it all the time at Craftwood when we worked there. But I always loved Tina's like she always thought he had a blindfold on and he was tasting the wine that way. But you know, we just hide the bottle. So he can't see the bottle of what it is. We just put it in a glass and, you know, he's like, oh, this is definitely rosé. This has got to be California. There was a cow that lived about 20 minutes down the street. She had a lot of milk in her udders, and it rained twice that year.
Yeah. That dude rolled off that back there and dripped down. Yeah.
So I love the fact that he puts that much work into his craft because I get to learn from that, and it inspires me to want to do the same thing with my food. Or I work with chefs who are amazing. Someone like you know Joe Sasto who does strictly pasta, and when you watch that man work pasta, it's beautiful to see. I mean, that is dedication to a craft, a very specific craft. That's one of the things I loved about being in Japan. You know, they pick one thing and they do one thing great the rest of their lives. Yeah. That's it. Like I pour tea and I pour tea perfectly.
Yeah.
Like,
And they do.
and they do.
Specialized, man.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's something really cool, but we're trying to build something. You know, I want to create opportunities for my people. And in order to create opportunities, I have to get out of their way to allow them to succeed, allow them to rise, allow them to fall and help pick them back up. But I have to get out the way. And for me to get out the way, we've got to put great training and good people in place and allow them to do their jobs. And then that frees me up to step into the next project. So working on something like this is nice because we're creating opportunities for the next people. So when they're ready downstairs or they're ready at 4, they've now got something there. So definitely think that's pretty cool. And you know, Tina, I love reading her text messages because she's watching. But she said, you know, delegating and building a team helps us too. Absolutely, that's one of the hardest things I think as a leader, right? To delegate. Do you trust? I can't tell you how many times I've said this or a manager has said this to me. It's easier for me to do it than to train them and teach them how.
Right.
That is something we fail at constantly.
Right.
I mean, you know, how do we get people to you have to take the time. You have to take the time to teach them to get them to that point where you don't have to do it for them, which I think is crucial.
And if you can do that, then you can
Muji,
relax.
appreciate you, man. Yes, we're gonna get together on Knob Hill for sure.
Yeah, if you can learn that skill,
Uh-huh.
then you can take stuff off of your plate,
Yeah.
and you can start to produce more and do more things. If you can learn how to delegate, delegate's super important.
Yes. Yeah, it's a key piece, but the team is everything, right? Culture is everything. I think that as a business owner, I think that's one of the hardest things that I deal with every day is protecting the culture, because I know who I am as a person and I know what my values are, and I know I'm very comfortable with that. How do you create that within 10 people? How do you create that within 50 people? How do you create that within 100 people? And ensure that they're following that, and then correct it when they don't, which is one of the toughest things to do, is deal with that confrontation. But I think protecting culture is tough, because we're trying to change culture.
Right.
Right? We want to stop the hate. We want to stop the what was okay before. Like, that's not okay today. And thankfully people are speaking up and saying that kind of stuff.
Look, guys, I'm gonna just be honest. This has been a podcast all over the damn place. Chef, take a breath. Take a breath. you got all the time in the world. This is gonna be an exciting thing for people to see come to life, because it's literally day one. Like, I already know, like, in 6 weeks you're gonna be able to see the difference. In 10 weeks you're gonna be able to see the difference. And, like, this little studio is a little what do they call those, like, passion projects. This is a passion project for you.
Yeah, no, it is a passion project, and it spurs out of the fact that having a conversation with Tina about one of the restaurants, and I said, "Oh, it's a passion restaurant," and she goes, "No, that's not okay. You need to actually have restaurants that are businesses." So I think it's extremely important to be able to create a space where you can work on the things that you're passionate about, right? I'm passionate about the restaurants for sure, but I also have a lot of other ideas. And we started with the chef's table in the kitchen because I wanted to have a place and an outlet, and then COVID took that away.
Right.
So now that we can't do that personalized experience in the kitchen, and we don't want to put that table back because, the cooks are used to the room and the kitchen flows better, where do we put those people? So this is a perfect space to be able to do that one-on-one. So I'm so excited to be able to do that.
I can't wait till they could book it too. Like, you could book the space.
Yes,
and we're looking for sponsors for the podcast. So if you guys looking to sponsor the podcast, give us a shout. Chef Brother Luck, Gmail, Chef B Luck.
Well, and the thing too, when we talk about sponsorships, that's such a strange topic, because, right, all of us have pride. And you're like, I don't want to ask for nothing. I can figure it out. And I'm definitely one of those people. But I think it's more than just sponsorship. I think this is going to be a very good opportunity for us to showcase local businesses, local artists, and
build a community.
Their
I think
crafts,
it's
right?
a great spot to build a community.
Yes, we want to work with those people to showcase what they're doing, because there's some amazing things. There's people out here making amazing cutting boards that deserve recognition, that need a spotlight. There's people that are working with small businesses.
We can have a product of a week. Send your products in,
Yeah, there's a lot of potential. And I think as we get into the educational side of it, I'm going to be doing a lot of demonstrative cooking on this platform. And I think that's really cool, because we have a lot to teach. But even sitting here watching Steve pop that bottle and educate us on the 45-degree angle, how to properly turn the six
No, you turn the bottle, not that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, you got to be joking, because I don't see people like just go out. I was like, he's joking, but nah, that's after something I learned today. So,
and it was smooth. He popped that bottle. It was smooth. I mean, it was like a Isley Brothers song.
It was
so smooth.
first rodeo, definitely.
oh man.
So, I think that's going to be a great part of this, is the educational side, is to teach you about the wine, to teach you about the spirits, to teach you about the beers and the process that goes into them, and the inspiration that came from that. But then we throw in the arts, which I can't wait to have. I love beautiful art. And I think having people like Muji come through, people from the Knob Hill district, musicians. I mean, we're all hip hop fans. There's some great acoustic players here in town that I'd love to have do some sets. We need a space like this And I think this is going to be cool because imagine, coming in here to do a set, but like the chef's also cooking a dish up, and you're getting to taste some wine at the same time.
Yeah, you walk.
There's
out
nothing
on the
like
porch,
that here in Colorado
light
Springs.
a cigar.
Nice
little.
A lot of ideas. So the ideas are limitless. But now we have to execute, and that's the hard part. Like if it was easy, everyone would do it. The difference is I just get up and start doing it, and I figured out. I have no idea what I'm doing every day. I always tell people that I have zero idea on what I'm doing. I just start doing it, and I figure it out. And
I think that there's a lot of there's a lot to be said about that. Like to have the fear and still do it. Mm-hmm. That's bravery.
That was actually the post that I share. I always try to share a quote every day because I love good quotes, and I'm going to pull this one up on my phone. I'm trying to stay off my phone because, you guys are watching. But there was a quote that I put out earlier, and it was about it's about embracing the fear, not running from it. Like embrace the fear and run from it. And I think that's so powerful because fear doesn't go away no matter what you're doing. The butterflies are always going to be there. The anxiety is always going to be there, right? You have to embrace that and jump, right? Or go, just start going. Like you embrace the fear, manage the fear because it's never going to go away.
Right. That's all right. Real quick. I always want to make sure that we give our fans something to take away this week, and we always try to give them something tangible, And we always normally pick the topic of the day. You know what I mean? I think today is, just no looks given premiere. Mm-hmm. So what kind of advice you think, whether it be an inspirational quote or something that you've been living on, that you could give our fans, just for inspiration?
I think something that's really stood out for me a lot, especially the last couple weeks, is the journey. No one can take the journey away from you. You walked every step.
God, so
when you do stop and you begin to look back on how far you've come, at some point you took a first step and a second step, and you walk through the pain that was in your feet when your heels hurt, right? You persevered. So no one can take that away from you. No one can take away the fact that I remember scrubbing this place when it was a punk rock bar. I remember repairing the chairs because they were broken. I remember grocery shopping every morning, coming in and doing prep and having a very limited staff. So when I reflect on where we are today with an amazing team, 2 restaurants, I don't forget the journey.
Don't forget the journey. Yeah. Appreciate the process.
It's powerful. It's powerful. That's what more people need to just start the journey.
Yeah.
Just start going. Don't be scared.
And not be afraid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that just comes back to my motto. You know what I'm saying? Fail to success. That's what I always say, that I'm going to fail to success. So that's
the greatest lessons I learned through pain.
Yeah. And it's when you face that fear that you actually learn something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a big piece. And I fail every day.
Yeah. We failed at this podcast today, but they don't know that.
You know what? It's happening. I think it's really good that we were able to, because here's the thing. None of us are IT professionals. None of us have any idea. But at the end of the day, we have something to say, right? And we have people that I think this could reach. Yeah. And as we grow and we learn and we refine and we put in the reps and they see the results.
Right.
When we look back on this first day, that journey is going to be special.
This is a special day. No Less Given was born today.
Yes, it's really cool.
I feel like that's a cheers moment.
Yes.
Cheers
boys. To you all for joining us today.
Yeah.
Cheers for everybody who jumped in.
Yeah,
I know
cheers to everybody online. Thank you so much. Give us a like, comment. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the notification bell because that's the most important part. So you get the notifications.
And we're gonna keep this going on a weekly basis.
I love it.
So stay tuned. Follow the Instagram at Chef Brother Luck. Make sure you like the website. Subscribe to this page, and we're gonna learn how to actually use this so we can continue to bring you great content.
Get some other cameras on here and be able to flip. But I think that's a part of it that I'm gonna be excited about is the finished product when the building is built out and then the studio is set. And we actually have an idea of what we're doing, where we need things, and that's an exciting part.
I couldn't sleep the other night.
Yeah. Show us.
I literally at 3 a.m. took a ruler and a pencil and started to actually draw out what this place is going to look like. And I think that's one of those things that, how willing are you to just sacrifice your sleep?
Yeah.
Right? I'm willing. I got to get it out of my head.
Got a paper and a pencil. And
paper and a pencil.
Drew your own, what do they call them, blueprint.
I drew my own. I even rolled it up like an architect.
Yo, when he handed it to me, it was rolled up like a blueprint. Like he handed it to me and like looked away. Like what?
We gotta roll it out with 2 hands.
Yeah. I needed a whole table to roll it out. But
these are the plans.
Yes, but I could give this to somebody to actually
Game
put in
plan.
a CAD file. But I don't need to. Like I'm the one here
I think
talking
that
to the
speaks
contractors.
volumes to what you just said, man. Just start. Like, use what you have. Like, for me, I do film, and everybody asks me, what camera should I get? I'll be like, look, you got a $1,000 camera in your pocket right now.
Yep.
Like, just use that one.
I feel like my iPhone is better than most cameras I use when we do cooking classes. It's always the iPhone I like the most.
Yeah.
So
it's got incredible
definitely potential.
Camera. Like, film that bitch sideways and then, put it in production and you're going to get something nice out of it.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to have more stuff going. Subscribe below. Make sure to follow me at Chef Brother Luck, especially on Instagram. Pay attention to the stories because that's where you're getting to watch the day by day. And we're going to have a lot more content coming. As the kitchen comes in and gets installed, we'll start cooking. As the bar shows up, we'll start tasting.
Making drinks.
The wine gets here, we'll continue popping bottles.
When the cameras get set up, we'll put it on.
Yes.
And you guys will see the improvements. And we can't wait.
So stay tuned. Thank you all for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Peace. I'm Dana Keith, y'all. At official Dana Keith. We're out.